Ghislaine Maxwell's claim about 25 men with secret settlements, 4 named co-conspirators, that's from the first attempted prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein that ended up in a non-prosecution agreement. All of those names, everything about that is in the Epstein files that have not yet been released according to the law that you got passed.
Lawrence, the biggest lie in the Epstein cover-up is that Epstein and Maxwell were the only 2 people who abused and raped 1,200 plus survivors.
Now, we would certainly have more information about the other co-conspirators if, the Trump administration actually released the Epstein files, which they are required to do by law since Congress has passed legislation requiring them to do it. But nonetheless, Ghislaine Maxwell has claimed in court that 25 associates of Jeffrey Epstein's reached secret settlements to avoid ever getting prosecuted. Cenk, your thoughts?
Yeah, so the idea that our government and our media tried to sell us that Epstein did it by himself and along with Maxwell, you really, not only would you have to be naive to believe that, you'd all have to be a borderline moron, to be honest. But yet almost everyone in Washington is pretending that that's the case. And so I love that Ro Khanna and Tom Massey, we've got 2 champions in Congress. We've got and 533 people on the fence, at best. So that's part of the story here. Apparently Maxwell knows who those 25 are. I don't know what other favors we're gonna do for her to get that information, but it doesn't matter if we have the information. Since Epstein is an Israeli agent, we're never going to prosecute any of those people.
So here's what you need to know. In December of last year, Maxwell submitted a self-represented petition to overturn her criminal convictions. I guess existing in Club Med, the Club Med of prisons isn't good enough, even though she should have been in a high security place, considering she's a rapist. Anyway, Maxwell claimed that substantial new evidence has emerged from related civil actions, government disclosures, investigative reports, and documents demonstrating constitutional violations that undermine the fairness of her proceedings. If I had any position of power, I would go out of my way to ensure that the system were more unfair to her. But Courthouse News Service published Maxwell's entire petition last December, and it's now making headlines because of the extraordinary claim that 25 of Epstein's pals escaped justice. 25 people. So keep in mind that Maxwell is claiming that her accusers reached settlements with Epstein's associates, and Maxwell's filing reads verbatim, "New evidence reveals that there were 25 men with which the plaintiff lawyers reached secret settlements that could equally be considered as co-conspirators. And keep in mind, it is unclear whether the 25 men who reached these secret settlements also reached deals with the feds, shielding them from prosecution." And there's more. So the filing also claims that 4 of the notorious financier's employees were mentioned in a non-prosecution agreement and in the sex trafficking indictment Epstein faced before he killed himself in jail, allegedly, but they were never charged. So Maxwell claims that she does not know the identities of those individuals and that if she did, she would tell authorities. I wouldn't trust a single word that comes out of this woman's mouth. Let's just put it that way. And this is relevant because on February 9th, Maxwell will sit for deposition before the House Oversight Committee, which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully we learn some interesting information from that deposition, but Cenk, your thoughts?
Yeah, so again, the 2 parts to this. First of all, of course, Ghislaine knows who the 25 are. How does she know there's 25?
I know, seriously.
Why not 24 or 26? You seem to know it pretty well. Guys, every part of this story is a joke on the American people. Mainly perpetrated by our politicians, but to some degree working with establishment media. So number 1, Ghislaine Maxwell, of course, should be in maximum security. She's one of the biggest child traffickers in American history. She's in the Club Fed, and she gets to run the place. Everybody else has to go in their cells, and she gets to have dinner by herself, etc. She's like Pablo Escobar in a Colombian prison, and running the place. It's a freaking joke. You know why? Because the Israelis run us. And so that's why her dad, by the way, is Robert Maxwell. No one in television tells you this because they want to protect Israel. Robert Maxwell was the biggest spy in Israeli history. He stole American nuclear secrets. That's why they have the bomb now.
And he published our schools, our public school systems textbooks for social studies and
which
history.
lied to us about how Israel was the victim in 48 and 67, when that's not remotely true. They did aggressive wars to seize land. They ethnically cleansed 750,000 Palestinians in 1948. So what you're seeing in Gaza now, they already did in 48. They attacked all their neighbors in 67, but we're lied to over and over again by our media and by our politicians because they're in the back pockets of a foreign country. So then you turn to justice here at home, and our government constantly tells us, no, it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican administration, you are never going to get justice for those girls. We're gonna hide the people who did it forever because the people who did it are the people bribing us. It's not rocket science, it's super obvious. First of all, campaign contributions are legalized bribes. And the Israelis, in that same fashion, bribe 94% of Congress. So they have Congress completely, that's why even when Obama objected to Netanyahu coming, Congress said no. He's our real president. They had him come over and they did standing ovation after standing ovation for him because they're like, there's our dear leader, where's our bribes, where's our bribes? The greatest people betraying us are not the Israelis. It's our own politicians who work for Israel and who say, oh, you wanna rape our children? Go ahead, we'll cover it up. We'll pretend that you're not an Israeli agent. Go look at the drop site news articles. Epstein tried to procure cyber weapons for Israel. He tried to get America to bomb Syria and Iran on behalf of Israel. He set up meetings with the Israeli prime minister and Putin and other world leaders.
He normalized relations between the UAE and Israel. He even played a role in the Iran-Contra.
Yes, because the Israeli agents, Mossad was also involved in Iran-Contra.
It's crazy.
So that brings Epstein into it.
Yeah.
And so since Epstein and Maxwell are the most obvious Israeli agents in human history, all of media and all of our politicians have to lie to you because otherwise how could they serve Israel? So this is the nonsense that's going on in our country. We have to free ourselves from this. We have to have liberation. And the way that you do that and when you stop being occupied by Israel is Operation Consequences. You have to vote them out. We're totally nonviolent, we're for peace, okay? So all consequences means is in a democracy, you have political consequences. So go to operationconsequences.com. Any politician that from this day forward gives a single dollar to Israel, vote them out because they're not your representatives, they're Israel's representatives. And if they're not joining Ro Khanna and Tom Massey in demanding justice for Americans, that means they're traitors and they work for Israel. So vote them all out, operationconsequences.com. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.